I am a classic artist. I work in oil paint and I also do sketching. I'll be teaching basic oil painting courses as well as barb drawing classes. So my goal is to teach students how to draw accurately and to be able to reproduce the things that they see. So from the time I was a child, I was very interested in art, and I went to study at a couple of different academic schools, and I found that this was relatively useless for what I wanted to do, which was realism. So I found a master, and I learned under him. His name is Paul Richard James, and he studied under Michael John Angel. So it's a series of masters who have been teaching the same methodology for the past several hundred years. I haven't looked back since I had that opportunity. Really very different because it's really strict. So there are certain rules to follow to produce really good work, and I didn't know those. And so my master said it was much easier to teach people who were not artists before because they won't have bad habits. And I had a lot of bad habits. So I had to really back myself up and give myself to the process that he was teaching. And this was really difficult, but really rewarding because I got exactly what I wanted. I must create art. So it's not something I really have a choice about. I have to do it. What interests me as an artist, though, is people. I'm really interested in drawing and painting people. But I have a very specific sort of person always in mind. I'm really interested in people who are thinking about something and who are uncomfortable with something. And so I want to portray that into my work. Well, how I go about things now is a little different than I would be teaching students. I teach a site size program, but I'm already to the point where I don't have to necessarily site size, and that won't mean anything to anybody unless you know what site sizing is. But so I will draw a cartoon always. I start with something that I'm doing on transferring paper, and then I transfer that image, and that's so that I can make sure that my work stays accurate throughout the process as I'm applying layers of paint. You sometimes move things about 1 millimeter or 2 in the wrong direction, and it's much easier to be able to go back and refer to that cartoon to make sure that your work is accurate. Sometimes when you're doing paintings, a recent painting I did of Joe Shit-Hallen, I found that his eye was not right. I couldn't figure it out though. I was looking at the painting and thinking, there's something wrong with his face, there's something wrong. It's not quite him. He doesn't look really friendly, and he's such a friendly person. And it turned out that his right eye was 1 millimeter too high, not even 0.5 millimeter too high. And in moving that eye just a little bit, it changed his whole expression. It opened his face. I produce work in sort of steps where I can go back and fix anything that might change to make the work inaccurate. So I create a kind of safety net for myself for everything I do. Yeah, so for me, I actually really don't care about sales. I'm not really interested in numbers at all. Of course, it's always nice to sell a piece, and I'm always honored when someone books me for painting something for them. But actually, for me, I'm really most interested in creating a body of work that will last into the future. So I'm very interested in making sure that my work is museum ready. So I'm painting with everything archival. I'm finishing everything with archival products. I want to make sure that in 500 years my pieces are still existent. I think a lot of classic artists like myself tend to draw themselves into with more subdued colors. I am not afraid of color. I like color. So in my work, I tend to just go and produce the work. If somebody's wearing red, I want them in red. If I have them in yellow, I want them in yellow. And I want to have a very bright sky, and I want to have everything looking quite bright. So I don't lean towards fuzzing things out, and I don't lean towards subduing things down. I want everything that I do to be big. Human beings, yeah, they're interesting. Well, they get up in the morning and they put one foot in front of the other, and life is hard. And so I think that I think living is a remarkable thing, because you survive it. So my classes are not designed to be paint nights or joyful experiences. They're designed so that I can teach students to do something, and I'm rather strict about it. So I walk around with my students and I point out where they could make those pieces better and how they can improve the work that they're doing. I'm really interested in producing students who can execute things that they see. So I feel like it's my responsibility as a teacher to make sure that they have all those basic skills so that they can go ahead and do what they want. As long as they have the basic skills, then they're able to produce exactly what they want to do. And whether that's going to be abstract or whether that's going to be more impressionist work, or, it doesn't matter to me what students do after the fact, as long as it's going to be good. So I want them to know how to take care of their brushes. I want them to know how to, I just want them to know all those things. So I'm a very detail-oriented teacher, and many of my students will say to me, "Oh, I really learned a lot in your class today." And this is the thing that I love. There are many, many of them, but more recently, actually, I had a student here who took a couple of my bark drawing classes, and I always tell students, you can go home and do those on your own, and they do or they do not, but he posted them online, and I could see them, that he was working the program, and I could see his work improving all by himself with the tools that I gave him and with the practice that he did. And so this really, really makes me happy. Yeah, I want them to be completely equipped to produce good work. I think it's my responsibility. I think if students are paying for something from me and I don't give them that, then I haven't really, what have I given them? We tell them all the same things all the time. So I think you can do better.